Good morning, Elizabeth Rose.
Good morning, Joanne Edie.
Yeah.
Thank you. I want to say, first of all, thank you, Joanne, for this interview, but also for founding the Canadian Hypnosis Conference
Thank you.
and for doing Hypno Biz Canada. I
Yes.
think it's so important, and I'm very grateful.
Well, just before last year was the last year for Canadian Hypnosis Conference. I'm glad I have a chance to explain that. And I joined together with the Hypno Biz family, just so you have a backup, so you have someone else, that you can turn to and bounce things off. And, as I age, and I certainly I'm not old, I understand that. However, there's some days when I feel quite old. And so it is really nice to have a couple of partners. And so we are now Hypno Biz Canada. It's October 25th, 26th. And then the post-conference workshops are 27 for the 1 day and 27, 28 for the 2 day. So Elizabeth well, you are a hypnotist. I was gonna say you're not a hypnotist, but you really are.
Oh, yes.
You are. Yeah.
Yes.
And so what did you do before, we're gonna jump backwards. What did you do before you do what you do now?
Well, I spent about 25 years working with pension funds, foundations, and endowments in the institutional investment world, so a chartered investment manager.
Right.
So that's my background. And also I have a fine arts degree, but that's so long ago.
Yeah. Then what happened?
Well, then what happened was I went to the Monroe Institute in Virginia and learned to astral travel. And then after that, I had this burning desire because I had so many experiences there. One being colliding on the astral plane with a past life husband. Well, now I needed to understand reincarnation. How do you understand reincarnation? The only thing I could think of was to do past life regression. Yeah. And I contacted the Ontario Hypnosis Center at the time, and I said, I just want to spend hours and hours in trance to understand reincarnation. And the director said, well, why don't you just become a hypnotist? Right. So I did, and I took so many courses. Indeed, yes, I am a hypnotist. I did the master's in clinical. I did the pain management. Oh my goodness, Gestalt for hypnotists. Anyway, it was fascinating. But what happened was the deeper I went into trance, of course, the more quickly you go into trance, the more open I became to the non-physical world of spirit that, in my experience, governs our world, the physical world. And so then once that happened, oh my goodness, what an exploration. That was a journey from 2011 until now, actually. But I was taking I was at the Canadian Hypnosis Conference, and I was taking Inez Simpson's protocol, the Simpson protocol, to work in ultra deep states. And my goodness, that's when suddenly angels appeared and started moving me and delivering messages. And eventually, that was 2014 November at the Canadian Hypnosis Conference.
It was a post-conference workshop.
That's right. It was a post-conference workshop.
Yes.
And you had so many interesting speakers, and one of them was a deep trance channel. And so I spent about 15 minutes with her, and then she said, well, you're a deep trance channel. And I said, I argued, no, I'm not. I'm just a hypnotist. And she said, no, they say that you are.
Yes.
And so that was quite pivotal. That changed my life yet again. So I was just on sabbatical, really playing with hypnosis, trying different things. And then in November 2014, the non-physical world stepped in and put me through protocols, which are now called full immersion into spirit. So the angels took over, and the ascended masters took over and put me through hours and hours and hours of trance, including 10 hours and 40 minutes of channeled yoga. which was very interesting. So now I facilitate full immersion into spirit. It's like hypnosis guided by a facilitator who is also in trance themselves.
Correct.
So that's the story. Does that explain?
It does. And I remember the first year you actually were a speaker at a Canadian Hypnosis conference, and your room was packed. And
Yes, it was. Yes.
yes. And people came out of there and they went, oh my gosh, I can't believe what I just sat in on, and what I felt and what I did, and so everybody was really chit-chatting about this class. And I had been at the desk, so I didn't. You had come recommended. I don't think you just applied. I think you were recommended and then applied, and that was how you got to the first conference you spoke at in Burlington when it was there. And I see your book in the background too.
Yeah, I put it there just. Yes.
So and people were just raving about this class. So the next year you came back and I made sure I got in on it.
Yes, you did. And thank you for that, Joanne. That was 2 retreats we did, and it was great. And I was working with Krista Moore at the time as well.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. And yeah, every class or group has been so different. I never know what to expect.
Yes.
It's wonderful that you open the conference to non-hypnotists and hypnotists alike, because all can experience this for themselves.
Yes. And the reason I did that is because things started to happen to me when I did hypnosis sessions. The very first one was a past life regression I was doing. And I you start at the feet. What are you wearing on your feet? And then you're moving up the body. And I could see what she was wearing on her feet. I could see what she said she was wearing. And so then I saw a hat. So I said, is there anything on your head? But I was already picturing what she actually said. And I thought, wow, that was strange. And then more and more things begin to happen when I do hypnosis sessions, I call it messages in my left ear, but it's my angels, it's my guides, it doesn't really matter the label you put on it, does it?
No, it doesn't. And I think depending upon your experience or your culture or your belief systems, guidance comes through in a way that's comfortable for you, in a way that you will accept or more easily accept.
Correct.
Although so many people do come out and go, did I imagine that?
Yeah. But, well, at first you do. But then the messages were so correct, so bang on. One client said to me, can you read my mind? And I went, no, I cannot. Because I don't read minds. I just get information that just pops into my left ear for some reason.
And the amazing thing about that is in doing the group hypnosis or the group full immersion or channeled, well, anything in group, actually, never mind channeled, people will go together in groups and they will have experiences together in a past life or up into the life between lives, the one that I'm teaching, and in full immersion into spirit, they will be up there or somewhere together, and they'll see each other and be aware of each other, as well as being on the ground there. And that I find really interesting.
Yeah.
Ted Robinson went to that first class.
Yes.
And he was a lawyer in New York, and a wonderful hypnotist and a wonderful practitioner. And he was in my class, and he said, I facilitated by walking around and talking to each person. What's your experience? What's happening? And he said, Jesus is here. And he's like, what? And he's going through this experience and he's deep in trance. And then he had whatever experience he had. And then I moved to the next person. She was like, yeah, he's right here. And then I was moving up towards, there was a group of people at the front, and one lady said, my third eye is blocked. And suddenly, and because I had people that were friends of mine, hypnotists that were friends of mine, I think it was Krista and Sarah and Aisha and Christine,
Right.
suddenly they just burst into song in a tone, you know, to my astonishment. Oh, that's right. The angel said, "Sing, ladies," and then they suddenly went, "Oh!" And to my astonishment, the woman goes, "Oh, it's clear now. Thank you."
Yeah.
And I was amazed. I'm more amazed by this work than I think my clients are.
Right. Well, that's
Because
why I said, you know, I thought to myself, if I'm experiencing these um, different things that are happening to me, then other people are too. And so I started offering the metaphysical tracks so that hypnotists can explore that side, or I guess it's not a side, they can explore their own gifts. And now there's some hypnotists that they're just traditional hypnotists and that they don't dabble in that at all. And so we have regular classes and whatnot for them as well.
I think consciousness exploration is becoming, to me, it's a new frontier, and it's becoming more established, more accepted, and it's very healing. People, to me, it's not just an adventure for entertainment, although it can be. Some people are attracted to that, just, gee, what's out there?
Yes.
What can happen can be life-changing. It can be very healing or very relaxing. When they feel the love from their non-physical guides or deceased loved ones who are still with them, it can be so healing
It is.
and very
And
deeply
don't
moving.
we all want to be the best we can be for our own clients?
Absolutely.
That's the whole purpose for me in any case. Yeah. Well, and Elizabeth, you are speaking on Saturday.
Yes.
Yes, and for the hour, but you also have a post-conference workshop, and as you mentioned, the one day will be Life Between Lives, and the second day will be full immersion into spirit. So you
Yes.
go into trance and experience some of these things and take yourself on a journey and maybe, you know, discover some things about yourself.
Yes. Well, the first day, everybody can learn how to facilitate this practice of and also experience. It's very experiential as well as
Yeah.
they're learning protocol, so they can go into trance. They can experience what it is, what happens between lifetimes, journeying up to the interlife. And I'm going to have a slightly different take on it because of all my experiences. But there will be lots of materials that they can take away, and they can go home and do this for themselves. The next day, it's like a step up from that. I'm channeling their guides. I'm going into trance and channeling everyone else's guides. And so that just expedites the healing or even the vibration. People may not realize that there are so many, I don't know what you call it, well, divine guidance coming through and energies, a lot of healing energies and heightened awareness energies, and their vibration is being raised. And it's like the angels or the guides have an agenda to lift our level of consciousness to a much higher level.
Yes.
And bring us up to a higher vibration, a higher frequency, and to heal everybody at a very deep level, at a soul level. So they're doing that. At the same time, messages will come through and people will have experiences. So it's a guided tour. We'll still follow some of the same protocols that we learn in Life Between Lifetimes. It's really the same thing, except that one is out of trance, one is in trance. You learn to go into trance and go to these heightened states on day one and go up to the Life Between Lifetimes or the angelic world or whatever that is, to the Akashic records perhaps. I never know where people are going to go.
And
but
each could be going a different place.
Yes. Yeah.
Very individual that way.
It is. And once they're in a relaxed state, a meditative state, then their experience can be very varied. It can be very deep, profound, just interesting, or very healing.
And a hypnotist who's listening to this, they can have never had some sort of interesting experience at all and still benefit from this class.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because a meditative state itself takes you into a relaxed state, into a healing mode. You move from the fight, flight, and freeze mode of working all day to total relaxation, and your body just starts to heal.
Right.
And I mean, there's so many others, rejuvenation that happens, you name it, so many different things. Yeah.
Well, and I truly believe that the hypnotists who need to hear your class go into your class.
Yes,
Yeah.
like yes, so many of the people that I work with become trance channels themselves. They're attracted to it because they have those gifts.
Yes.
Spiritual gifts will start to surface. Like you said, you start to see.
I'm very visual.
Clients were seeing. Some people experience they experience the world through taste or smell or sight, feeling, and so they'll have a knowing that comes into them. But I've lost count of how many interesting spiritual gifts have surfaced from this work. Yes, very interesting.
Right. So we'll leave it there, and it's coming up soon in October. And also, too, you can take Elizabeth's post-conference workshop if you buy a VIP ticket for the weekend. That workshop is free.
Nice. I love how you structured that with the VIP. That's beautiful.
And really, it's an amazing bargain, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. And I don't think any other conference bundles those together like that. And so we want everybody to experience whatever they want, when they come to Hypno Biz Canada in October. So we'll see you then, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Joanne, and looking forward to seeing everybody at the conference.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.